So we all have that pile of tiny pencil stubs that are useless. So I'm going to tell you what to do with those today. Welcome friends, so I just got back from vacation in case you're wondering why I've been so quiet, and I'm ready to jump into some more videos for you. In today's video we're going to talk about what to do with those little tiny pencil stubs. They're awkward to hold, nobody wants to use them, but you don't want to throw them away because these pencils are expensive. But it's not just pencils, it's pages. What do you do with all those completed pages and coloring books that you worked so hard on? You don't just want to throw them away, what do you do with them? Well, I'm going to cover both of those things for you today, as well as a few travel tips from my vacation and my completed coloring pages I did while I was away. When you get down to that last little pencil stub, don't throw it away, keep it, put it in a pouch, and pretty soon you'll have your own personalized travel kit full of colored pencils that are small and compact and easy to travel with. If you're one of those people that does not like to use those pencil stubs when they get really small because they're uncomfortable to hold, take a fast food straw. It has to be a fast food straw. The ones you get at the store for home use are usually too small, so make sure it's one of the bigger straws that they use in fast food. Cut a piece of the straw off, put your pencil down into that straw piece, take your other pencil, put some glue on it. I prefer wood glue, super glue would work though, and slide your other pencil down into the plastic tubing until it reaches your colored pencil and let it dry. You can use this with another colored pencil, but I prefer to use a graphite pencil because you can sharpen your colored pencil all the way down until you hit graphite and you know you have used that colored pencil to completion. If you put it on the end of another colored pencil, you are inevitably going to lose some on both of these pencil pieces. This will also work with a wooden dowel for cake decorating if you find this will also work with a wooden dowel if you find one that has the right circumference. Now, not all colored pencils are flat on the end. If you have one like this that is rounded, get some sandpaper and sand off the bottom of it till it's flat. I unfortunately did not have any, so I used an emery board, and it kind of worked, but sandpaper is best. So sand it until you have it flat, and then you can glue it onto the end of a pencil. This pencil we actually got for free from the mini golf course that we did while we were on vacation, and it fits perfectly. I follow the same method. I put the two ends down into a piece of straw with some glue to hold it together. I prefer to leave the plastic straw on the pencil until I've sharpened it down to that point, and then you can cut it off with an X-Acto knife and it pops out perfectly. Now, overall, I prefer to leave these pencils short so I can take them for traveling and to make them more comfortable to hold. If you put them inside of a pencil extender, you can use it more comfortably. And if you don't have a pencil extender, you can just get a fast food straw, put it down that fast food straw, and it's comfortable to hold. This will also work with an empty pen tube if you have the right size. If you're going to be in a confined space where you're not going to be able to sharpen or dump out a sharpener, like long plane rides and things of that nature, get yourself some mechanical colored pencils and twistable crayons. There is no need for a sharpener. And of course, we all have those stacks of colored pages that are done that we don't want to throw away, but we don't really have anything to use them for. The pattern pages are super easy. Basically, any kind of decoupage that you can think of, you can use on those pattern pages. If you could use scrapbook paper, you can use those pattern pages. But occasionally you'll have pictures like this that have a image on it that you want to make sure you preserve. One of the things I like to do is to take this image, fit it to a composition book, and glue it down on the composition book and give it as a notebook. Composition books are cheap, usually only about $1. So it's a cheap gift that you can give that's personalized. So other things you can decoupage your coloring pages to, you can decoupage them to wooden boxes, candles, glass bottles, glass jars, coasters, and you can even put them directly on a gift box or gift bag. If you have just a plain bag, you can just glue it to the outside of the bag, and then you have a personalized gift bag for your actual present. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that this video does not stop with you and it will continue to go on to other people. I would greatly appreciate it. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Okay, for those coloring books that are double-sided that you don't want to tear up, you can turn them into a scrapbook and just use the pages the same way that you would scrapbook pages. And you can either keep these for your own scrapbook or you can give it to family members and friends. And then for those pages that maybe don't have enough room for a picture, you can put a quote or a scripture, something that somebody has said to you that you want to remember, and use it like a journal. And then, of course, my favorite thing to do with coloring pages is to put them into junk journals. So I love to do junk journals. This one I made for a friend, and I have my steampunk moose that I'm going to find a place for. So I flipped through here and this was actually already pretty full, so I ended up putting it on the very back page. I just folded it to where you could see the moose pretty clearly and stuck it between these two flaps. And then here is my other journal that I made for a family member. And I had a bunch of nautical themed coloring pages that I just quickly colored, tea dyed them to make them look aged, and put them in here. That one I put it as a tip in. Some of them I folded, and this gives them a lot of extra space they can write on the back of these pages. My last tip for those coloring pages is to create a sign out of them. You know those cute metal novelty signs that you see in stores? Well, don't buy those. If you see a quote that you like, add it to your coloring page, frame it or laminate it, and then you have your own makeshift sign. This one, I took a rabbit that I had transformed into an alien because why not? And I just added "I need some space" as a little title and put it in a frame and hung it outside of my son's door. And I think it looks really cute. I've already touched on it, but a quick travel tip. If you get enough of those little tiny pencil stubs, they are great for traveling. So here they are really small, so you'll definitely need to keep them sorted. So I've got my neutrals here, pink and orange in this pouch. I got my purple and blue colors in here. And I'm able to I probably have about 200 colored pencils in this little tiny pouch. Here's my yellow and green. And then in the back is where I keep all of the ones that I use most often. And then the sharpener just fits on the end of a pencil, so I'll usually put it on one of the taller ones. I just put my sharpener on the end of a pencil so I can keep it in there. And this is super convenient for traveling if you're going on a long trip and you need a lot of colors, but you don't want to take up a lot of space. All right, and finally, while I was gone, you'll have to forgive the filming because I was using my selfie stick as a tripod. I only filmed a couple of these. The rest of them I did while I was in the car. So on my Johanna Basford Inklings page, there was a page that had just these little boba teas, and I didn't really like them, and I'm trying to turn this book into a dystopian theme. So I added a bunch of mechanical arms and conveyor belts to make it look like it was being controlled by machines. And of course, as soon as I was done with this, I had to go get a boba tea. When it comes to coloring cups and things that are clear, there's lots of different ways to do it, but I just prefer to line the edges with a light blue and put a white highlight on the edges, and to me that's usually pretty sufficient. There are other ways to do it, but this I find works best for me. And any time where the cup is going to be curled over on itself, it's going to be darker and thicker. So that I just put a little light area in the center where the light would hit it. And then on the conveyor belt, I took my silver and I colored up the sides, leaving a strip of white in the middle where the light would be hitting the metal and would create a little white highlight. And then I, on the edges, used a graphite pencil, which is a darker silver, to give it a little bit more shading, and then put my black lines through it to make it look like a conveyor belt. And here is my finished product. And then in the mornings, we were in Pigeon Forge and we had this lovely cabin, so I would go out on the balcony and color in the mornings. And again, I apologize about the tripod and the shot, but I had limited equipment. I had my phone and a selfie stick. And it was so nice to go out on the porch in the morning and look at the wonderful view and color these pages. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you tune in periodically because I have a few videos to do, and then I'm going to be going through R.J. Hampson's Steampunk Revivals. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I have an idea now, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. You're in my video. Go. You're in my video too. Hi, girls. This is what happens when you go on vacation for a week and a half. You can't make YouTube videos.